We're killing it. We're doing it.
We're killing it. We're doing it. We're sexy. We're gorgeous. I haven't done a slick back in a long time. Feels good to be back.
It's the summertime.
It's the summertime. My extensions are out. I got bangle.
Wow, that's amazing ASMR. Let's do some ASMR.
Bangle ASMR.
I've seen that on TikTok.
Have you actually?
Yes.
That's wild.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi. What if instead of hi, we said like a different intro? Not to the viewers, but like we greeted each other differently. Like, what would be your intro? Like,
what'd you say?
I
wasn't listening. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
The way you pause and buffer, you're like, I need to think about what she just said.
I was like, did I clock that at all? Did I clock it at all even to like fake an answer? No.
What if you replied like, yeah, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. What was the question?
Uh-huh, sweetie.
You know what it is? I'm like being such a perfectionist about the camera. I'm sorry. I still need 1 second.
No. What just happened?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I feel really, really ready now. After my tumble. I feel better. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I ran out of contacts this morning.
I think the glasses are a sleigh.
It's really embarrassing to like wear a new pair of glasses.
Can I ask you a question? And I really mean this with no judgment.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like, why do you like always run out of contacts? Aren't you like not on a subscription service or?
No, because I don't wear them every day. So like sometimes I'll wear them like once a week. Sometimes I wear them 5 days a week.
Got it.
And then I'm like, oh, they're just like there.
So
like,
you don't realize you're out because you're not like getting a new pair every day.
Yeah. 30 days is like 2 months for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I also feel like you like glasses are regularly a part of your looks.
Yeah.
You don't like wear glasses. I mean, you obviously wear them to see, but I think you've done a really good job of being like, this is my life. How
Especially
do I make
usually.
this cute?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or sorry, especially recently.
It's like when somebody who has to wear like a back brace bedazzles it. You know, it's like
they should put you know, I was thinking they should put like little gibbets on braces to like bedazzle them.
You should be able to get braces in like all the different shapes that you can get, like tooth gems.
Yes, exactly.
Little moon.
Exactly. Like they should put like little charms.
Little Playboy bunnies.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
But I would respect it.
A smiley face. Going to school with
That
little
would be
Playboy bunny.
cute, actually. I think that would be cute, especially because like
little charms.
Accessorizing your mouth is really in right now, like tooth gems, like grills, all that stuff. It's like that would actually, I can see, in fact, like metal braces making a resurgence because of how much like mouth accessories are in right now.
Would you date a guy, like if you were single, would you date a guy, like he's perfect on paper, but he had braces? Like, would you date him?
Metal braces?
Yeah.
How long does he have to wear them?
He just started.
How long?
Year and a half.
I'd have to be able to like really see the vision.
Because honestly, like imagine them getting their braces tightened. So when you get braces, you like get them tightened. Imagine them like coming home and being like, babe, we can't like go eat steak tonight. Like I just got my braces tightened.
That wouldn't bother me at all. You want actually, this is so insanely like pessimistic of me. You want to know why I wouldn't date a man like that?
Why?
Because a man like that is going to date you. You're going to be his ride or die braces. And then he's going to get them off and he's going to be like, I'm hot. Bye. I need to see what else is out there. Like that episode of Sex and the City when Charlotte dates the guy who's uncircumcised and then he gets circumcised and he's like, I need to share my penis with the world.
Absolutely. And he will not stop licking his teeth.
It's really hard to date a man that has like potential but needs work because like the second you give him the work, he like thinks that he's too good for you.
Yeah, like once a man sees that like you recognize his potential, suddenly it's like, oh,
somebody else might.
Somebody else might.
10% hotter. They'd be doing that. So it's like on that basis, I wouldn't.
A man makes a woman hotter. Or sorry, whoa. A woman makes a man hotter.
A woman absolutely makes a man hotter. Like, what I've done for Kellen is shocking. And let me tell you something. Kellen has always had the goods. Kellen is so cute.
You saw the potential.
He's so, like, naturally handsome. He has the jaw, whatever. Yeah. But, like, what a $60 haircut and a new outfit did for that man is shocking.
Dude, honestly, though, when I met Ryan, like, he was an anime nerd.
He was.
And to, like, what he is now, I'm like, yeah. Like, I got points.
Yeah, 100%.
From that.
We do that. Do you want to get into our ins and outs?
Yeah. I'll go
Okay.
first. My in. Should I do my in or my out?
You're in.
My in is malls. And not like current malls. I mean malls like what they could be, what they could return to.
The potential of a mall.
The potential of a rebrand of a mall.
You know what? A mall rebrand is a good idea.
Like we need brick and mortar back. We do. We do.
I love brick and mortar. It's the reason why pop-ups do so well.
Yes, yes. I think that we are at the perfect time for a rebrand of a mall to come back. We need friends gathering at the mall. We need cool stores. I don't want any of those Shein fucking stores at the mall.
No.
We need Sephora's at the mall. I mean, we have them, but like we need them like I need to feel like I can't find a fucking parking spot at the mall again.
Yes.
I want an Auntie Anne's pretzel. I want like mini golf at the mall.
How about this, though? Imagine a mall, right?
Okay.
That still sort of has like the kitschy stuff, right? It has like it has Auntie Anne's, right? It has like a Dippin' Dots vending machine. You've got your Sephora. Maybe you even have like a little like mini golfer laser tag. But it also has like a place where you can go and get like oysters. Like maybe there's like a rooftop restaurant. And there's like some sort of like cutesy little like but yummy restaurants, like Little Fish type beat.
Yeah,
there
has like a rooftop vibe at a mall would fucking go.
And then the stores, like, yes, you can also get like a mattress, and you can go to your like Sephora, and you can there's like a Lush, but there's also like a Gil, and like a Paloma wool, and like maybe like a store that sells like all like the cutest sneakers that are out right now, New Balances and like Sambas, like a cool updated mall.
And how about this? How about a courtyard?
A little courtyard. You can hang out. You can get like a little, there's coffee shop. Maybe there's like a little coffee commissary type.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, malls need to come back.
Yeah. You know what? And you know what? You know how I know this would work? Because this sounds insane, especially because I've lived in LA for 11 years. This is a hot topic. I love the Grove.
Yes.
I love the Grove. I'm sorry. Sue me. I love the Grove.
And also the Americana. Like,
yes,
literally a mall goes. And I don't know why. Like, when I go back home to Wisconsin, malls are dead.
Yep.
Crickets. I don't know how it is in Florida. I'm sure
malls
it's different.
To me represent endless possibilities.
Yes.
Because when I was a kid, it's like I'd go to a mall, and when you like are shopping online, it's like you kind of know what you want. You see an Instagram ad for a dress, you go to the website, you go to that exact dress, you buy it. There's no like possibilities anymore. Versus like you go into a mall, you don't know what's new. You don't know what you're going to see on the mannequin. You don't know what like outfit is going to scream to you. You don't know like what kind of samples they're giving out. You don't know
samples.
You don't know what like cute guy you're going to see. Like malls represent possibilities.
Malls represent like the youth that we're missing in life.
Yes.
And honestly, like this might be a hot take, but we need those Abercrombie like hot models back.
Yes. I want hot models who smell really good, like waving at me while
I want
I'm
them
shopping.
to be like, come in, like, come on, we got a sale. Like, is that too much to ask for?
I don't think so.
That's my end.
That's a great end.
Thank you so much. And honestly, I hope that like whoever the next president is, like makes that happen. Okay, my out. My out has been an out since like 2015 or like literally since ever, but I need to bring attention to it.
Okay.
My out is influencer couples. I hate when I go on TikTok and I see, this is for the visual viewers, I see a guy being like, babe, I got you something amazing. And you can tell that he's filming. It's like, of course your reaction's going to be skewed.
Yeah.
Because you know the person's filming. And then people in the comments are so fucking gullible. They're like, oh my God, goals, dream guy. It's like, babe, no, that is for the check. That is for like whatever TikTok shop thing he's selling.
Yes.
Like, that's not real. And I just think that sometimes like people, maybe especially in like the Midwest vibe, fall for that shit. And then they're like, why is my life or my relationship not like that? And you're like, he's carrying a tripod around his neck.
Yeah, like it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It is. And I feel like it's like there's a reason why so many of those couples break up. It's like that's a lot of pressure.
It's false.
It's false. It's a lot of pressure. You're like always on. Like I have to do that myself, and it affects my relationship sometimes with Kellen. If I'm like, it's like I am a little bit warped by the internet in the sense that if I have like a really cute outfit and I look pretty that day, it's like I feel like I really want to get like a good like outfit photo,
Of course.
or get like a TikTok. And then if I like can't get it, I get frustrated. And then now like Kellen and I's cute day is like skewed a little by the fact that I didn't get like a fucking outfit video. I can't even imagine us both having that pressure. Yeah. That's crazy.
And like comments,
Yeah.
like hearing what people think about your relationship, even like us starting this podcast and like doing this as a business together. Obviously we're not in a relationship, but like we're best friends. That has like added something to our friendship.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we were always on, or if you and Kellen had a podcast,
Yeah.
or me and Ryan had a podcast? Like, it's just too much pressure.
It's too much pressure. And also, like, on a more judgmental level, it's cringe. It's cringe. There's a TikToker that you know that I don't like, because I don't understand how somebody can have that much of a following and they've never actually said an important sentence in their life. They literally just do voiceovers. And somehow they're like one of the most like beloved TikTokers. It really bothers me. I'm not exaggerating. I have never seen them sit down and make a TikTok where they're having a conversation or saying something. It's every single one.
And their
voiceover.
relationship?
Don't get me started. That's what I was going to say. This person, I'm sure they're nice. Whatever. They make like fan edits of their relationship. They make fan edits. They take all of the videos of them that they have set up the tripod and they like, he spun her around and they kissed or they laughed, and then they splice them together for a fan edit of their own relationship. Yo,
Literally, ew. And you know what's crazy? People don't clock this. I think we're so chronically online that they're like, goals. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys just have these moments. They don't.
yeah. And I feel weird saying this because I will say I recently had my first like relationship TikTok it didn't go viral by any means, but it was like I posted the video that Kellen and I took from our wedding and it like a little bit popped off. You know what I mean? It has like 250,000 views or whatever. And that did make me feel sort of weird because I was like, wait a second, like we didn't make that video for TikTok. So that's, I can like sleep at night knowing that. But there is a level of like, I don't really like put my relationship that much online. And I was like,
Same.
oh, now like, and so many comments are like goals. And like, listen, yeah, we're a little bit goals, but like we also like have had our fair share of issues. We got in, like a huge fight the day before the wedding. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit happens.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bit weird like putting this video out there that made it seem like we were perfect.
Yeah. I've gone through that too. I feel like because both of our partners are husbands now.
Both of our husbands
are very like public facing
Yeah.
people, and like you are too. I'm less.
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy for people to see that and be like, goals, perfect. I think that I used to like really show my relationship with Ryan.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I'm kind of more private about it because I'm like, wait, I don't want you guys to know like the intricacies of our relationship. But to what you were saying, I don't think that you should feel weird about that because it's not like you put up the tripod and you were like, okay, now spin you around 20 times. Wait, babe, you're not doing it right.
Right. Like I like got this DV the like 48 hours before the wedding at the thrift store. And I was like, this would be cute to like have some memories.
Yeah.
And then I like was bored one night and I put a few clips together and threw it on TikTok. And that's not usually the type of content I make. So I don't think I expected it to do like amazing. And then it, just kind of whatever, how TikTok works.
Because it was cute.
Because it was cute. And you know what? Maybe I'll give myself credit. Maybe it's because it was authentic.
Artsy.
And I was authentic though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that long. There was no videos of us like you said, twirling each other around. Like it was him holding it. And it was just like short and sweet. Like the wedding.
I also don't have problems with those kinds of videos or like anything where it's like a moment captured or something if it's an authentic moment. My thing is more so like if that's your channel and that's all you do, I just like can't imagine having a relationship with Ryan where we're like sitting in bed like editing our video that's so fake.
Yes. Well, there's a difference between capturing authentic moments and then putting it online and capturing moments for the sole purpose of going online.
Yeah, and that is just so icky to me. That's such a false relationship. Like you said, no wonder people break up.
Tripod on, listen, we don't got to go into it too much more, but tripod on the beach is crazy.
Tripod on the beach is crazy. Bro, starting the video over, I'd get the ick. If Ryan stopped and started the video over,
I don't even think I've been online a long time. I make a lot of content, but I'm really like a little bit embarrassed about public content. I can't even imagine. I would feel like vomiting out of embarrassment just walking on the beach with a tripod like sticking out of my toe. Like, let alone setting it up. Like tripod sticking out of the toe is crazy on the beach.
Dude, that's crazy with
Something
the ring light.
Like
the ring light.
Like something about the beach is so like it's leave the beach out of it.
Yeah, the beach should never be succumbed
If
to
you're
like
a New York
a ring
side street
light.
and you want like an outfit of the day, that's totally different. That's so chill. Leave the beach out of it.
Yeah, the beach kind of feels like a religious place. Don't bring it in.
Tripods do not belong on the beach. Tripods should be banned from the beach, in fact.
Tripod. It should say no shirt, no service, no tripods. Literally. All right, what's your in?
Okay. My in is getting off birth control.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No shade. If you're on birth control, I think birth control is extremely helpful for a lot of things, for skin, for periods. It's the reason why I got on it was for my period. But I was on the same birth control for 12 years. And I have no idea. I don't even know what it's done to my body. I've only been off it for a week. And I think I'm going to see a lot of change over the next few months. And I know that it's not going to be easy. But let me tell you something. It's only been a week and I already feel better. I already feel better. Like, I feel like my mood is better. And I know it's going to, it's going to be a little unstable for a little. But, like, I know so many people who thought that they had, like, issues with, like, depression or anxiety. And, like, a lot of it ended up being because they were on birth control for a long time. Like,
yes.
I don't think I really clocked the fact that I was sort of, like, pumping my body with something and how much it was, affecting me. And I think that I'm still going to learn a lot. I'm very early in the journey. But even seeing yours, you got off birth control recently and you have sort of like got off of it long enough that you've really seen the differences. But I'm just like, I'm already feeling good. And I'm in this really weird phase right now where I woke up the other day and I was like, I want like filler dissolved. I want birth control out of my body. I don't want to eat like refined sugar. Like I just like, and I'm not going to go so crazy. Like, I do think there's a really unhealthy point. Like, I want to have a good time. If I want, like, a Reese's at the movie, I'm going to have a Reese's at the movie. But, like, I just want to be more aware of, like, the kind of, like, shit I'm putting in my body. And I do want to be as, like, regulated and healthy as I can. And I'm really excited for this journey, I have to say.
Honestly, yes. Because I feel like it's crazy that we just blindly trust certain things to just like be good for us, and in some ways that they are.
Yes,
like
they serve a purpose.
Yeah, they serve a purpose, but like you're never really taught these things, and if you are, you're like 13 and you're
not. We talked about this before, especially people are a lot more like, I think, health conscious now, but 12 years ago when I got on birth control, when I was a kid, I was literally a virgin. I didn't go on it for birth control. I went on it for my period. They weren't like going through nobody told me about blood clots.
Yeah, they give you like a little pamphlet with like a shit ton of words, and I'm not reading all that. I'm sorry.
Of course not.
Yeah, I feel like if you are in the stage of your life where you can get off birth control, or even give yourself like a break, even if like you want to go back on it, you should allow your body that, because the amount of things that have changed in my body now, a year and a half out of birth control, I'm less anxious. I feel more in tune with my body. It's crazy what your body can do just naturally. So like, it kind of makes me upset that my body was pumped with so many toxins for so long. Again, it served a purpose and it did what it had to do, but you're absolutely right. You just like never know. You never clock how much is actually going in your body when it comes to birth control.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have headaches in the beginning?
Yeah.
I'm having bad headaches. That's the one thing that's been hard already.
Well, think about something being in your body for so long. Like, you're going to have like certain withdrawals, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, this has been in my body for 12 years.
Yeah. And again, I know it's not going to be easy. Like you said, like when you've been on it so long, especially, I know that there's going to be a lot of change over the next few months, but honestly, even knowing all of that, I'm really excited.
Good change.
Excited. Yeah, good change. So my in is getting off birth control.
I love that.
Okay, my out.
The tone change.
My out is read receipts.
Oh, yeah.
Any app or setting that allows for people to know when I have seen a message or when I am online feels like a deep invasion of privacy, and I don't fuck with it. And obviously on messages, you can turn it on or off. Mm-hmm. But I hate that, like, on Instagram, for example, like, the scene thing isn't an option and it's something you have to do, because it's like, I just want to be able to like answer things in my own time. And I'm also a curious person. I'm not the kind of person who like can see I got a DM and just like ignore it. Like I kind of want to know what's up, but I don't want the pressure of having to respond right away. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Like I don't want somebody to know immediately that I've seen something, because then when I respond, I sort of have to like start off with an excuse about like why it took me so long. It's like, why does this random person who sent me a DM on this fucking weird app where we're like posting photos have to know the second I've seen it? Like that's so weird, and I don't like it. It really bothers me.
It makes me anxious.
It makes me really anxious. It's like I want someone to send me a message the way that they did in World War II where while they're waiting for a response, they don't know if I've seen it, if I haven't seen it, if I'm waiting to respond to them, if I am even alive. I want to be unknowable in my silence.
I think you should stop apologizing when you're like late on a message. I think you should just reply. And I think you should be like, even if it's 2 days later, there's times where someone will text me and I won't reply for 2 days and I just like pretend it didn't happen. I pretend they sent it 10 minutes ago. And it's never an issue.
I love that energy, and I do need more of that, but I don't even want it to be a thing.
Yeah.
Why is it a thing?
Are you sure there's no setting in Instagram that like...
I don't believe so. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And here's my other question, and this isn't like something... I'm not like upset when someone has their read receipts on. It doesn't bother me that somebody else does it, but I'm genuinely curious as to what like a pro would be to having it on. Like in texts.
You're absolutely right.
Like I see people, I know people who have...
You do?
Yeah, where I'll send a text and it'll say read.
I don't have
and
that.
You don't know anyone who
No,
has it? That's so
nobody.
funny. I don't know a lot of people, but I know a few. And again, it doesn't bother me that they have it on, but I'm always curious as to like, maybe it's a lazy thing. Maybe it's on, they don't care. But I'm always wondering,
like, what's the point?
Is there a pro
Yeah.
to it? Because I can't think of one.
You should ask them. You should be like, this is like a random question, but like, I noticed that you do this, and like...
Yeah, you have your read receipts on. Like, why?
I'm anti-read receipts.
I'm anti-read receipts in all forms. It's like, I just don't want you to know. Yeah, I don't want you to know what I'm on.
We shouldn't know everything about everybody. We like shouldn't know like when you're going to read the message, when you're typing. It's just like too much. We know too much.
It's too much. I liked when texting and email was a little bit more aligned with getting a letter in the mail.
Imagine if we got notifications on our iPhone that said, Rhea is typing. I would never know peace. I would never know peace.
Exactly. Like I said, I want to be unknowable in my silence. I want to be like God. Is he there? Is he listening?
You want to move like the wind.
I want to move like the wind. Is it so much to ask to want to move like the wind?
Literally. In the year 2024, it shouldn't be.
I'm off birth control. I want to move like the wind.
And we want malls back.
And also bring back malls. And also bring back mini golf at the mall. It's summer. I'm wearing a halter and a slick back bun.
Dude, I'm not kidding. And like, not to be up my own ass, but like, I have a pretty birthday. Like July 16.
July 16 is a gorgeous birthday.
Is gorgeous.
I actually like mine too.
I was about to say, yours sounds stunning too. You want to know why? Because we're both even numbers.
Wow, that's true. Also, fun fact, I was born on 4/24 at 2:42.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wait, that's cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Should we get into the episode?
Yeah, we should.
I got a very cute message from a listener the other day, and it was actually really funny that they sent this message because you and I had already talked about how we wanted this to be our next episode, but we were waiting till after I had like settled into marriage a little bit.
Yeah.
And they basically said, her name is Salma, and she said, "Love your podcast. Please don't stop. Would you ladies be willing to talk about things you actively worked on internally to prepare yourselves for marriage and long-term commitment?" And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because that was literally going to be our next episode anyway.
And this is going to be a good episode for not just marriage, but like if you're entering a long-term commitment. Like
moving in.
Yeah, moving in. Anything that's like long-term that you're like, oh, now it's a duo vibe.
Right. Yeah. Because I do think you can be with someone for years, living with them. I mean, living with Kellen was more of a struggle / like work in progress for me than marriage. Like,
yeah.
Living with someone is tough.
Living with someone, especially when you haven't lived with a man or a significant other before, is tough.
It is. I mean, Kellen and I have only been doing it for 1.5 years, but I still struggle. Like, I still struggle with, like, you know, you do things differently than other people. And
you also grow up differently.
You grow up differently. You have different habits, especially if you have different jobs. Like, you keep different hours and things are prioritized differently. And sometimes even to this day, I'm like, God, I miss living alone a little.
You also like don't you're on your first date, you're not like, oh, are you messy or clean?
Right.
Or like, oh, do you not like this chore? Like, you're not
Yeah.
asking those questions. So until you move in together, you're not clocking certain things. And then you're like, oh, now I like fully know you.
Kellen has this little one that is so funny. So Kellen does the laundry. Like
Yeah.
that's his thing in the house, right? He does all the laundry, which I love and I'm so grateful for because I
Right.
fucking hate doing laundry. But it's hard because I don't like the way he does laundry.
Ooh.
But I can't like really complain about it because he does all the laundry.
Do you guys do laundry differently?
So the way that Kellen does laundry is he will do it over the course of a few days. He will put laundry in the wash, right? And then he'll like decide he wants to do something for the day and go out and it will just like sit. And then
In the wash?
Yes. And obviously if it actually ends up like being too long, he'll just like rewash it.
Okay.
But even just that concept makes me really anxious,
Yeah.
right? Or he'll wash it and then he'll put it in the dryer immediately and then he'll like go to bed and then like a day and a half later he'll get to it. And now it's like wrinkled. You know what I mean? Or like he'll do the wash and he'll do the dry and then he'll take it all out and he'll put it somewhere like on the couch to like sit and fold. But then he'll wait like 24 hours to do it. And then there's like a pile of laundry on the couch for like 24 hours. It's like,
It's a process.
it's a very long process for him versus if I have decided I'm going to do laundry, I am doing it all in 2.5 hours.
Same.
And I'm getting it all done. And then I'm going about my day and everything is folded and hung up and done and clean.
because you just want to get it over with.
I want to get it over with. 2, I can't stand what's been sitting in the wash. 3, I can't stand what's been sitting in the dryer because I hate wrinkles and I don't like ironing.
Sitting in the wash is crazy because then it starts to smell.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, but then he'll just rewash it. But I'm like, now this is like, my God, this is like a process. Like, it's just like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And also, I hate clutter. I hate clutter more than I hate dirt. Like, I am more organized than I am clean. And Kellen will, like, I can't live with a pile of laundry in the living room on the couch for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
It drives me up the absolute wall.
Yeah.
So we just have very different, like, that's an example of like just like a habit that it's not him doing anything wrong. He's not like weaponizing incompetence. He's getting it done. He's just doing it his own way.
Yeah.
And it is really tough for me.
Yes. And also just like going into a partnership where like you live together, you just, I don't know, it's sometimes those hard conversations of like, well, I do it this way. Like no way is the right way.
Completely.
But it's also just so annoying sometimes.
Well, I think my way is almost always the right way. Actually.
I've been starting to do this thing. Like Ryan will have like a habit, like sometimes he'll like leave his socks all over the house.
Yeah.
Like he likes to take them off, leaves them around the house. So I just started to put them in little piles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you can just bring them to the laundry. Like you
Yes.
can just do it. Because it's like little things that like don't really matter. But like, for example, I always put the forks down in the dishwasher and he's like, no, put them up. And he's right. But I just like don't remember to do that sometimes.
Oh, really? Are they clean better up?
Yeah, they clean better up. And I just like forget. And he's like, Gabby, like we've talked about this. And I'm like, fuck, it's been 7 years and I can't fucking get it right.
Yeah, Kellen doesn't wipe the crumbs off of the counter after he makes toast. And it drives me up the wall. It drives me up the fucking wall.
Dude, honestly, when me and Ryan like moved in together, me and Ryan moved in pretty early.
Yeah.
It was like maybe like a year in, and he moved like from Michigan to Los Angeles to like be with me. And we like almost broke up during that time because it was such a learning curve. And I was like 25 and he was like 30.
Yeah.
So it was such a learning curve. And I feel like people always get like super excited about living together, but like you have to kind of talk some shit out before you do that, or like figure out different habits, or just spend a lot of time together first.
Yeah. I feel like you also have to like have more grace than you've ever had.
Oh, for sure.
Like
the
you
patience
can't-
is insane.
Because then you'll just fight all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it is one of those things that I have had to learn a lot of patience with, being like, he's not doing it wrong. He's doing it his own way.
Yeah.
Or like, he's doing this for me. So like, I don't exactly have the space to, criticize it or whatever.
Or just picking your battles.
Or if I do, it has to be in like a really like loving, open, conversational way, and not like I can tend to get overwhelmed really easily. So for example, if I'm already having like a stressful morning and I walk in the kitchen and I see crumbs, it's like my instinct is to want to be like, like you know what I mean, and like just like taking a breath and being like, it's crumbs.
Yeah, actually. It's just like a learning curve, and honestly, it's like as time goes, it'll get better. But also though, can we talk about how it's as a girl, or maybe it's just me, like getting rid of your room, your specific room is so tough.
That is one thing I have to say. I am extremely lucky. I haven't really had to
Change a lot.
Kellen, one, has oddly feminine taste.
Oh.
Like, I will bring something home, like a gorgeous little floral teacup, and he'll be like, that's beautiful. Like, you should display it. You know what I mean? Like, I got very lucky. I have a man who has very feminine taste. But he also is just, like, very, very, very not opinionated with interior design. He's opinionated in a lot of other things, but interior design is, like, not one of them.
He's like, let's rock
And he's
it.
not, like, keeping something in. He just genuinely doesn't really care.
Yeah.
If I bring something home that's heinous, that he thinks is heinous, he will say it. But it's been rare that he's been like, I'm sorry, I just, like, really don't like that. I haven't had to deal with that. But you and Ryan both have extremely strong and very personal taste.
Yeah. It's good because I feel like we've gotten to like this beautiful marriage of our taste where it's like we both like color and like plants and shit.
Your apartment is a really good marriage of your taste.
Yeah, it's like very too. But like I do sometimes miss like little ruffles on my bed and like, you know, some pink here and there.
Yep.
But I think that we've like gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, this is perfectly us. There's some things of Ryan's that like you can tell it's Ryan's at the home, and then you can tell my stuff is my stuff in the home. But yeah, that is difficult. I can't imagine being with a guy who's like, you know, navy sheets and like really cares about things, and you being like a girl who like loves floral pink stuff. Like I'm sure that is so hard.
Completely.
Okay, so you just got married.
Yeah.
Literally like what, last month?
Mm-hmm.
What is something, and I'll speak on this too, but like what are things that you had to work on to get to the point where you are now, where you're like, oh, I'm like married and this is sick? Like, did you have that internal journey with yourself? Because I feel like I kind of went through that. Like marriage and getting engaged is beautiful, but it also is something that you have to go through internally and be like, oh, this is a big change.
Yeah, it brought up a lot more feelings for me than I thought it was going to.
Okay.
I think because Kellen and I lived together, we were engaged for a long time, you know, we bought a house together. Like, we are very intertwined. I think I just expected it to feel like nothing. And in some ways it did. Like, a lot of people are like, how do you feel now that you're married? And I always say, like, exactly the same. Because in a lot of ways I do. But I think there was this internal battle in my head that I wasn't expecting. That was, I am almost like understanding that the perception of me was going to change.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a married woman now. It, like...
You're a wife.
I don't want to say it ages you, but that was like a fear of mine, was that it was going to age me, like almost mourning my youth a little. Like, oh, I am in this phase where it's like, it's not like, there's something like sexy about being like boyfriend and girlfriend. There's something young. There's like possibilities. You know what I mean? And all of those things still exist in marriage. But it was definitely like a rewiring of being like, oh, is my life over? Am I like old maid now? Like, I'm not fun anymore. I can't like go out with the girls and like want to look sexy. Like, I definitely went through a big sort of like, oh, new big adult phase of my life. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. I'm excited. There's also a tinge of sadness to it.
Of course. I'm going to be honest. I feel like a lot of people go through that. Like, I kind of went through that in a different way where I was like, oh, something that I've wanted for so long is happening. Like, why do I feel like a tinge of sadness in there?
I felt the same way. I felt bad for feeling that way.
Yeah. You almost feel like guilty in a sense. You're like, oh, and you know, the boys are so excited and they've already kind of like, here's the thing. Here's what I think. I think when a man proposes or when a man's ready, he's like super ready. He's super in it. He's like, this is it.
He had those feelings of like, oh my God, my life's about to change months before.
Yes. And a woman is confronted with that feeling right when it happens. And that's the difference.
100%. 100%.
And I think a lot of people don't talk about this. Maybe it's because like it's just like they're like, oh, whatever. It's like a little tinge, or maybe sometimes people don't feel it. I don't know anybody else's journey.
I also think people feel bad about it. Like, I kept it in for a long time before I brought it up to you because I was like, is this like a red flag? Does this make me a bad person? Like, I knew I loved Kellen. I knew I wanted to marry him, but I was like, does this make me like selfish? And honestly, I wish people talked about it more, because the second I brought it up to you and you validated it and you were like, this is normal, I felt like a weight off me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Yeah. But I also think that there's a difference between like the kind of brides and the kind of fiancés we were and the kind that's like, You know, they have like a big bachelorette party and they have like
Yes.
engagement parties and they have like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that there's such a difference in that. So I feel like, and well, also for me, if we're going to get like a little deep here, I never had a good showcase of like what love was growing
Yeah.
up. My parents loved each other, but it was definitely like rockier. And I feel like seeing that, I was like, oh, wait, like I'm about to be a wife.
Yeah.
And I don't want to repeat certain things that I've seen in my childhood.
Completely.
How am I going to show up now? And your role kind of changes as a person. Like you're still Rhea and I'm still Gabby, but like there is change.
Yeah, 100%. And there is change in the way people perceive you. And it's not
Yeah.
a bad thing, but there absolutely is. It happened to me. I was at a 4th of July party last weekend, and
Was that the first time you were like, this is my husband?
it was the first time that I was meeting a lot of new people.
Yeah.
And I'm a wife.
Yeah.
And so it's like I met someone, and it wasn't like flirty or anything like that. But it was just like a normal, you know, dude, and he was super sweet, whatever. We ended up all actually hanging out as a group, but he was like, oh, are you on dating apps? And it was the first time I had to be like, I'm married. And I wasn't like looking for anything from this person, but it was like the first time I had to like tell a stranger who was perceiving me as like this young girl at a party, you know, wearing a little fucking bikini and just, you know, expecting me to say something like, oh, I'm not on dating apps. Or like, yeah, I'm on Tinder. And me being like, I'm married.
Yeah.
Like it's like a big thing to say.
It is. It is. I always had this thing, even when I was Ryan's girlfriend, I would hate when I would be introduced as like, this is my girlfriend or this is my wife. I don't know why. I think that I really hold value and like I'm Gabby first and then I'm your best friend and then I'm Ryan's wife and then I'm a sister and then
Completely.
I like to be Gabby first.
Yes.
And now being a wife, I'm like, but wait, I'm like more than a wife.
Yes, I think that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like I still want to be able to say I'm married,
Of
and
course.
people want to
Get to know you.
Yes.
Get to know you and
Yes.
not see you as just like a married woman, but see you as like, oh, who is this person? That's just like something about her.
Yes.
I want it to be casual in a sense of like, oh, I play tennis.
Exactly, because I feel like one thing I have noticed a few times is when someone says, you know, are you in a relationship or whatever, or you're not talking about a relationship, they kind of like, you can be in a relationship and that person can like exist outside you. But the few times that I've said I'm married, the first thing people say is, where's your husband?
Yes. You know what's funny?
Who cares where he is? I'm right here.
You don't even know him.
He might not even be at this party.
He might not even be here.
Yeah.
Actually, Ryan recently went through this too. Ryan was at this party and he met this like girl. She was just like chill, like
Yeah.
there was no like flirty vibes or anything. But I like jokingly was like, "Oh, did you tell her you were married?" And he's like, "No, I just like wanted to get to know her, like just like as Ryan. And like had it been brought up, I would have.
Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna be like, oh, by the way, I'm married.
Yeah.
Because it's like then you're like setting the intention of like, oh, this is immediately something flirty, and it wasn't. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So maybe guys go through that too, where they're like, oh, I'm still like a person outside of this, but I think we can all recognize that like being married does hold a certain weight.
It does.
And it's beautiful that it's like respected and like, you know, marriage is fucking sick.
Yeah.
But like I'm also a person outside of it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, so I had to kind of go through that, and I already feel better and more settled in now.
Yeah.
Because I think, and this is like one of the big pieces of advice you gave me, was like, the lead up is scarier than the drop. It's like a roller coaster.
Oh,
like the
for
lead
sure.
up is scarier than, you know, the actual fall. And it was. Like I went through all these big emotions, and now it's like, yeah, I feel exactly the same. And mostly people are treating me the same, and people still invite me to hang out all the time, you know, without Kellen, and people still invite Kellen to hang out all the time without me. And I think that's important too, is not falling into the where's your husband trope and being like, we're married, we have to go everywhere together now. Like Kellen and I have always had an extremely strong sense of independence in our relationship. Extremely strong. Like my very good friend Ryder the other day actually made a joke where he was like, it's funny, I feel like I hang out with you all the time alone, and I hang out with Kellen all the time alone, and I rarely hang out with both of you as a couple. And I kind of like that. Like I love hanging out with Kellen as a couple, especially with other couples. Like I love like when me, you, and Ryan and Kellen hang out. But it's nice that we have friends that feel like they can hang out with me and they can hang out with Kellen, and that's not a weird concept.
Yeah.
Like I think also going into a marriage being like, we can be married and we can be on the same team and we're like life partners, but that doesn't mean we have to give up independence.
Exactly. Like a marriage should be just literally that, like the exact word, a marriage. You should come together, but you're not twins.
No.
You're not conjoined.
You're not one person.
Yeah.
You are still the same two completely different individuals that
Yeah.
existed before. And even though you maybe have changed or meshed together, like you can still exist outside of the relationship. Like
Yeah.
you and Ryan have always been really good at that. Even 4th of July weekend, it's like Ryan wanted to stay at a party and you didn't, so you left.
Yeah.
Like I love that concept. And let me tell you something, like I don't know if you're just used to it or if you know this, that concept is foreign to a lot of people. The idea that Ryan wanted to stay at a party where he was like drunk and having a good time, and that you are confident and independent enough to be like, I don't want to be here, I'm leaving. Let me tell you something, I know a lot of couples, over their dead body are they leaving. Over their dead body are they leaving without their partner.
I guess that's true. I feel like I always really valued, like when I was thinking of like what kind of person I wanted to marry, or like even just Ryan in general, I always valued somebody who like valued their independence as much as I value mine.
Completely.
Because like I'm not somebody's babysitter, and I'm also like not somebody's like just plus one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And that's fine, and that's good actually. That like tells you how much you really trust your partner. You like respect your partner. Like if Ryan's having fun, who am I to stop him?
Exactly.
Who am I to stop him?
And also I think another part of that I really love is that you still care about yourself enough to put yourself first. And also respect that Ryan wants to stay. Because I feel like I know a lot of, especially women, who would be in that situation, right? They are at a party. Maybe their husband knows more people than they do. Their husband is drunk. He's having a good time. He doesn't want to leave. She is dying to leave, but she won't. Because whether it's, insecurity or just feeling weird about going home alone or being separate. Like, I love that you're like, not only do you want Ryan to be happy and stay, but you also want yourself to be happy.
Yeah.
So you leave.
And I was happy. I went home and I watched like Love Island.
I love that. And it's like, I know so many people who are staying in situations where they don't want to be just because they like can't fathom the idea of like doing something different than their partner.
Yeah, not doing the same thing that their partner wants to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that about you guys.
Honestly, and I feel like you guys are a similar way.
Yeah,
Like
completely.
I feel like I think you and I value like the fact that they have their own lives and their own things, and then we come together. And then it's nice to like do things together. But like, dude, I cannot be with somebody who's like, okay, if you want to leave, then like I'll leave. But like I was having fun, but like
Right.
I'll leave.
Or somebody who stays because you want to stay, but you can tell they like don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd rather you just leave.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and that's not because I don't love you, but it's because I want you to also be having a good time, even if that means being at home watching Love Island in your pajamas.
Exactly. No, I love that.
I do. I think independence, and to be honest, like, I mean, who knows? But I think it's fair to say that I would bet on our relationships lasting because of that. Because we have cultivated such a sense of independence in our relationships.
Yeah. We're like two separate beings within one union.
I read this really beautiful article. I'll link it to you because you'll love it. I loved it so much I read the entire article out loud to Kellen the other day because I read out loud to him. Mm-hmm. And it was about how the most important thing in a marriage is the third things. It's not you two looking at each other. It's the things you watch together. Whether that's kids or grandkids or TV shows or a hobby or an overlook you both love or a restaurant, whatever it is. It's the third things that you share together.
Ooh.
And that's like what makes a marriage, is having those third things.
Ooh, you should link it.
Yeah,
like,
I will.
I'll
link it. It was a really beautiful article, and it was just really cool to kind of like, it was a writer who is married to a writer and kind of like talking about third things in the context of his own life and how big third thing for them is their writing. But those shared things too, I think, are really important. And I think you don't really realize how much or little third things you have until you live with someone.
Yeah.
Like Kellen and I have so much more in common that I didn't even realize until we lived together. And now that we're married, than when we were dating. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't think I ever would have expected how much he loves like reality TV. That's like a really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is one of our favorite third things. That is a third thing that we come together like tonight. It's Saturday today that we're filming this episode. Kellen and I both aren't really in the mood to go out. We've been going out a lot, it's 4th of July. And we are both like foaming at the mouth excited to like get takeout tonight and watch the 3 episodes of Love Island that we're not caught up on. That's like, and that is like making, as funny as it sounds, our love grow stronger. It's not that it's Love Island, it's not that it's takeout, it's that we are both so excited to do this third thing together.
That is so true. Wait, I don't know where me and Ryan were the other day, but he like leans over and he's like, I can't wait to watch Sex and the City with you later.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, I'm so excited.
Having a thing like that you both like love to do.
Yeah.
And that's not even in relationships, that's in friendships. Like you and I have things that we like are so excited to do together. We love to gossip, we love to like go out to lunch, like we love to like work together but separately. You know what I mean? We have these third things that we do, pool parties, whatever the case is, and it's like that is what makes a relationship, or the shared things you do, the third things. I love it.
I agree. It's so important. Wow, that's a beautiful statement.
Yeah, it's a really good article. You'll love it.
When you got engaged, did you feel like weird saying fiance?
Yeah.
I felt weird saying
In fact,
fiance.
I started saying partner.
Yeah.
Because I liked it better. And then funny enough, I'm not really exactly sure why, but I got clowned on a lot on like TikTok for using the term partner.
Oh.
And I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's because like I'm in a hetero relationship. And a lot of times that's like maybe like more exclusively for like people in queer relationships or people who like are non-binary. I'm not exactly sure why. But in my defense, and I said this a few times, was like, I just don't like the word fiance.
I don't either.
I don't even mind husband, but fiance just...
Fiance feels like I'm like gloating.
Yeah, it's like it's such like a fancy word.
Yeah, like I'm such a non-fancy person that why would I start saying fiance?
Yeah, I honestly, and I just like partner too, because also like Kellen and I, for example, I feel like you and Ryan had a little bit more of a traditional like fiance to husband pipeline.
Yeah.
Kellen and I had this sort of weird one where we like got engaged really early in our relationship, and then we like weren't really sure, and then we kind of stayed engaged, but like, you know, we kind of just like put it on the back burner because we like got the house.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's not like, I think traditionally it's like you get engaged, you start planning a wedding, you get married. And so I think for me too, it like just felt weird saying it because I had a very long engagement, and it was like, when I said fiance, I felt like it came with questions.
Yeah.
How long have you been engaged? How did he pop the question? When are you getting married? And for me, it was
Yeah.
like, we got engaged 5 months after we started dating, and we had a conversation about it in bed and just decided to be engaged, and we have no idea when we're getting married. It's like, I just didn't want that smoke.
Yeah. It's also just like, I don't know, it kind of feels like for other people.
Yeah.
It feels very like, and maybe not everybody feels this way, but for me, it felt a little performative. Just the entire like thing of answering all these questions.
Yes.
It felt like a fucking press tour sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that people were like so excited for me and Rye. Like, we've been here now 7 years, but like, you know, they're like, yeah, finally, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
Or they'd be like, oh my God.
Yes.
So like, what's next? It's like, I just don't always want that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's me not wanting to be like perceived, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like, I think me and you also don't really like social norms. We're not people who like naturally follow like, okay, you're going to be my bridesmaid. You're
Yes.
going to be like maid of honor. We're
Yeah.
going to set it up.
This is going to be my dress for this day. This is going to be my dress for this day. This
Like
is gonna
it's
be my dress-
never,
yeah.
it's never really been that way. So maybe that's why we're like that.
Yeah, I just think we're like, a lot of people are very, very excited about everything that traditionally comes with being engaged and getting married. And I just don't think that was the case for either of us.
I never really thought about marriage when I was younger, actually. Like maybe I like saw myself as somebody's wife, but it was never like when I would date, I would never thought about it. And I never thought about my wedding. I never thought about like shit like that. I think that a lot of people are like, oh, do you know, it's kind of like when you have baby names picked out. Oh, what does your wedding look like? I could never picture that in my head. So maybe that's why also too, it was never like, it was a cool milestone for me and Rye, but it felt like just our thing. I didn't feel the need to like super go balls to the wall.
Completely. Yeah, I felt the same way, which is nice, honestly. And if you want a big wedding and if you want to like
More
do
power
it out
to you.
and you want to like be traditional, like that's amazing. But let me tell you something, there is something really, 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 really special about not having every single part of your engagement or your wedding be online, photographed, videoed in front of a crowd of people. Like some of the things that Callan and I did, I am so, and again, I know I don't like subscribe to that already, but like just having some things that are just for you too, that you don't do a story time on, that you don't talk about, that you like don't publish, that you don't even like, even if you're not like an influencer, that you don't like put online at all, even for your 300 followers. You know what I mean? Like, it is so nice that some of the stuff we did are just ours.
Yeah, it's so intimate and beautiful, and it just feels like it's a good representation of the unionship.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people fall into this role of like, people are never going to forget our weddings. Like it's kind of like a party.
Yes.
It's kind of giving like I don't know, just like performative in a sense, my
Yeah.
Super Sweet 16 vibes.
Yes.
And listen, if that's your style, go for it. I'm not here to judge you. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, who are those hoodies that say Mr. and Mrs. Johnson actually for?
Right.
Like, I'm going to give that to Goodwill.
They're all going to end up in Goodwill, and then they're going to end up in a landfill.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I really had a problem with like the overconsumption when it came to the wedding stuff too.
Yes.
It just felt like it wasn't even for me. I would have been fine with just me and Ryan got married in like a backyard with like 35 people.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And like and yours was beautiful too. You guys like had your own spin on it as well. Like it was just people that we really cared about for both of our weddings. And if a big wedding is your vibe and everything, that's fine. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, damn, all of that wedding stuff is just for other people and to like show the pictures and like.
And also they're so expensive.
They're so expensive.
Like,
I'd rather take that money and like go on a trip.
Kellen and I got married at the courthouse. We went home that night and we watched Love Island and we got takeout. And then a couple days later, we basically did a glorified birthday dinner.
Yeah.
And even that was expensive.
I just hope that if you're having a big wedding or a big kind of theatrical thing, it's actually because you want it and it's something that you like really wanted when you were younger.
Yes.
And it's not for anybody else.
Yes.
That's my biggest worry. I don't care if you have a big wedding or not, but just like be authentic to like who you are.
Yeah, completely.
I had this friend recently, she's probably listening to this, reach out to me. And in our last episode, I said like, I know when people are going to break up or when they're not going to. And she's recently moving in with her boyfriend of like a few months. And she was like, how can you tell like when the relationship's going to go well in like a long-term commitment? How do you think that like what are a couple signs that the unionship is going to last in a long-term commitment?
I think a big thing for me was I never, ever, 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 like, don't want to be with Kellen.
Yeah.
Even at our worst, even through the absolute worst fight we've ever gone through, the worst things we've gone through, I never am like, I think I would be happier without him.
Yeah.
Ever. Even if I say it. You know what I mean? It's like I have never genuinely felt like there is a life that is better without Kellen. And that doesn't mean I can't live without him. I totally can and I could be fine. But I genuinely believe that there is not someone better suited for me or that would feed me as much as Kellen feeds me.
Yeah.
And I have been in relationships where I've like thought about that and been like, yeah, I could probably find someone I like as much. That is, I think, a big red flag.
Yeah.
I think like I just like I am 100% sure that like at least in this phase of my life, it's Kellen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not doubt that. Even if I doubt other things, you know, it's like, can we get through this thing? Do we like mesh on this level? Like whatever it is, like it's him and I. We're a team.
Yeah. I agree. I feel that way about Rye. I'm like, nobody knows me as deeply.
No.
As fucking like the worst of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
As Rye.
Yeah. I think we balance each other really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Like I think that I used to have this idea that the right person for you is the person who's the most like you.
Yeah.
Kellen and I could not be more different.
Yeah. But it works.
And I do think that's why it works. Like I can be a really impatient person. It's like one of my worst qualities. And Kellen is like by and far the most patient person I've ever met. Like so much so that I'm like, he's going to snap one day. Like there's just like no way that somebody could have this so much capacity for patience. And that's like one of those things that I think that we balance each other so, so, so well. Like if he was also a stubborn, impatient person, we would have broken up a long time ago.
Yeah. I think that having a partner who like brings out the best in you, but also like teaches you certain things as well is so beautiful. The shit Ryan has taught me throughout my life and vice versa. I'm like, I could never have grown to be the person I am without Ryan by my side up until this point.
Yeah.
You know? I think that also a good test to if it's going to work out like long term is just like if they take your feelings into account.
Yeah.
And they hear you out, even if they don't agree
completely
with what you're saying, hearing you out and that respect goes such a long way because it's true. Like love isn't enough. I've been in a relationship for 7 years now and married for 1. Love isn't enough. You have to like work together. Like you can love anybody. You can fall in love with anybody. I feel like if you like spend enough time with them and like there's sexual chemistry or something.
It's like why arranged marriages work.
Yes. But like the work that goes into it is why it works.
Yeah. I agree. I think a lot of times people like have this, notion of like, oh, when you find the right person, it'll be easy. Like it'll be,
That's such bullshit,
it'll
dude.
be as easy as breathing. Like with the right person, you like won't fight that much, blah, blah, blah. Or like I've seen people be like, it's crazy to me when people say that like marriage is hard because like marriage shouldn't be hard. Maybe you just like don't have a good partner. It's funny because all the people I hear say that are not married.
Yes.
And frankly, I haven't even really been in a long-term relationship. But it's like, it is hard. And it's not hard because the other person makes it hard or because you make it hard or because they bring negative, bad, toxic qualities. That is hard, but that's a different type of hard. Yeah. It's hard because it's hard to coexist with another human because you're two different people. Like
you're also like growing at the same time that they are.
Right.
And like going through things like, I'm 29 and like I've gone through so much in my 20s and Ryan has been there for so much of it that I'm like, of course we're gonna fight. I'm fucking changing every day.
And of course it's hard. Like it's hard to, it's like when you are with someone forever, you have to accept that you are going to be with many different versions of that person. And you are going to have to like mourn previous versions of them. Like Callan is not the same person he was when we first met. And we have only been together 3.5 years. Yeah. And he's a different person. And, he's always flourishing and trying to be better, but he's also maybe a little more like jaded than he was before, and he's gone through things that have given him maybe a little bit more trauma than he did when we first met. Like he's a different person, and he's going to be a different person in 3 years. He's going to be a different person 3 years after that. Like when you sign on for someone, you sign on for every version of them, and that's hard. It is hard to love someone and also love every part of them and who they're going to be in 3 years, and be okay with the fact that they're going to lose some qualities along the way.
Yeah. And with that, I will say, like, we're like speaking very like positively right now, but if you don't feel like it is your person, it is okay to walk away.
Completely.
If you are in a long-term partnership, marriage, relationship, whatever, and it's just not feeling right in your gut, like you are allowed to. I just recently had a friend who like left her boyfriend and like she thought she was going to get engaged with him.
Yeah.
And like they lived together and they're like so intertwined, and she was like, it just like wasn't a match. And like you will always know how you always say, like, the answer lies within.
The answer lies within, baby. The answer lies within. Yeah. And also another like kind of like silly Tumblr-y quote, but I always say this to people. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no.
Dude, every time that I have like a very big decision in my head, I always think of you saying that. And it really does help because that is so true. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no.
I have a guy friend the other day, and I was like, he's been seeing this girl like casually, non-exclusively, but for a long time, for like 6 months. And I'm like, do you like her? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, could you like see yourself dating her? And he's like, maybe. And I'm like, let her go.
Yeah.
Let her go. Because let me tell you something. You're not going to marry the girl that you've been seeing for 6 months. And when somebody asks if you like them, you say, yeah. Come on.
Or maybe.
What are you even doing? What are you wasting your time for here?
Comfort.
Like,
we're not on earth to be like comfortable. Like,
no.
Fucking go after what you want or like leave what you don't.
And I'm not saying it should be this thing where like you see the person from across the room and the whole fucking world stops turning and you get butterflies and it's perfect and there's never fights. But you just know when it's it.
Yeah.
Even when it's hard, even when it's not even if they live in a different country, you just know when it's it. When you're like, when somebody asks if you like them and you're like, I really like them. Like that's different than,
yeah.
You know?
Yes. And if you're getting like excited about a text, dude, like.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So follow your gut. The answer lies within.
The answer lies within. Okay, fortune cookie. Shit.
I love this episode.
Me too.
I know we say that after every episode, but I don't care.
No, but I think it's so important. Like, I do love like the shooting the shit episodes, of course. Those are like so funny. But like, I think what's cool about our podcast is we do have these serious episodes and these like more, they show more of our minds in these episodes. And I feel like that is so, listen, people ask us these questions for a reason. We're not the first people to think these things. We're not the first people to like give advice on these things, but like, it's cool that we can do these episodes.
I agree. Contrary to popular belief, we do more than yap.
Yes, we have thoughts. We yap, but like we have thoughts.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a good review. Please leave us 5 stars with some words. It really, really helps us out on Apple Podcasts.
Tell us you love malls.
Tell us how much you love malls.
No, tell us what stores you would have at the mall.
If you're on YouTube, please leave us a good like comment, because I still have a bunch of like leftover loser ex subscribers who are mean to me, and I want them all gone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.